Hey guys, welcome back. So now that we've set up the scoring system, what I want to do in this video is set up the win-lose condition. And how do we know that the game is over, that the player has won or lost? We know it either by a 2048 tile, or we know it because the board is full and there's no move that the player can make. So the lose condition is actually slightly complicated to set up. We'll have to set up a loop. What we'll do first is we'll focus on the win condition, and actually even simpler than that, let's just focus on how the UI will be. So what we'll do is we'll add a button here. So I'm going to add a touchable opacity with an on press. Let's just keep the on press empty for now, and what we'll do is we'll give it a style which is styles.overlay button. Now the reason I'm calling this an overlay button is because when the game is over, what I want this thing to do is have a button on top of the entire screen, and no matter where the player clicks, it just starts a new game. So that's what we'll do. So first things first, let's write the style itself for our overlay button. So overlay button right here. And now what we want to do is we want to set the position to absolute. The reason we're doing that is because normally what happens is it would appear after all of the elements all of the components that are already on the screen, and that's not how we want it. We want it to be at our 0, 0, and it should span the entire height and width. So what we do is we say position is absolute, our left is 0, right is 0, and let's give it a background color of RGBA. The reason I'm using RGBA is because I also want to give an opacity of, let's just go with 0.3 for now. And what I'll also do is I'll say that the width should be 100% and the height should be 100% as well. So height 100%. Now let's see how this looks. So as you can see, there is a layer on top of the actual board that we have. So this is the layer, and this is actually clickable. You can look at the feedback that it's giving me when I click on it. So that's my overlay button, and inside my overlay button, let's just write some text, and let's give it a style which is, let's say, game over heading, and we write something like you win. And the next text that I want to show is the score. So style equals styles dot game over score, and it just says your score followed by this dot state dot score, and this should also be styles dot game over heading, and this should be style. And the third text that I want to show is a message which is which would just say something like click anywhere to start a new game. So I do styles dot game over message, and it says click anywhere to start a new game. And let's now write the styles for these texts. One thing we must notice is that it's appearing at the left top corner, which we don't want. So in our overlay button, we should do align items to center and justify content to center. And then we have our game over heading. So for this, let's just give it a font size of let's say 72, a color of white, so FFF, and let's just try this out. So we go here, So at the center it says you win. The font size looks fine to me. And now for our score. So game over score. I have I would say the color should be again white, and the font size should be something like 24 maybe. And for our game over message, let's just do color is white again, and font size is, let's say, 20. Let's try these out. So as you can see, it says you win followed by your score followed by click anywhere to start a new game. So this looks pretty good to me. And what we can do is so one thing we need is we don't want this to appear at all times. We just want it when the player has lost the game. So what I do is I create a couple of state variables. So like I had score, I will also create game 1, which is false, and game lost, which is also false. So all I have to do now to just make this appear when the game is over, I say game 1 and this thing. And similarly I can have another one for lost. You could also do something like change the message only, because the rest of it remains the same. But we could also have a different one. So here the text would be game over, and this should be game lost. So this looks fine, and here as you can see game 1 is not defined, so I should have this dot state dot game 1 and this dot state dot game lost. So let's reload now and see whether this is working. Right now we probably won't be able to find out whether it's working or not, because we won't know. We haven't set up a game over condition, but let's just see whether it does not show it here. So it doesn't, that much is fine. Now what we do is the only place where we'll have to check whether a player has won the game is in our merge code. So here all we have to do is let's just increment the score even when we do get the 2048 tile. That's a choice that you can make. If you put the game over the game 1 code before this score is incremented, then it won't add the 2048. But what I'm going to do is I'll just add it after that. So here what I do is I say if board matrix of I comma k minus 1 is equal to 2048, then this dot set state, and I just set the state to game 1 is true. So let's try this much out. So I've set it up in my left move, and the simplest way for me to test this out is just make this a 1024 and make this a 1024 as well. So let's save, go back to our game, and now when I hit left I should get the game U1 text. So let's go ahead and see that. So as you can see, I got the 2048 tile here. It says you win, your score is 2048, and click anywhere to start a new game, which doesn't really work. But this is working just fine. So my win code is working alright. So I copy this and I put it in my right move, in my up move, down move, all of them. And I should change the index accordingly of my board matrix. So in my up it would be a k minus 1 comma I, and in my down it would be k plus 1 comma I. So I here and k plus 1 here. So let's just go back and see whether this works on the right as well. So I hit right. As you can see, it does say you win. So it's working fine for right as well, and it should work fine for up and down too. You could check that. So I was thinking we'll add the loose condition as well in this video, but I think it's already been around 10 minutes. So we'll leave it for the next video. We'll add a loose condition and we'll show a similar message when the game is over. So we'll do that in the next video. Stay tuned for it. If you liked the video, don't forget to give it the thumbs up. Share the video with your friends and subscribe to my channel so that you'll be notified when the next video is up. And I'll see you next time.